Creative imagination has its source in the subconscious mind. Creative imagination truly is the workshop of the soul. By his repetition of thought and connection with his problem carried on over a long period of time through thousands of experiments, Mr. Edison either consciously or unconsciously charged his subconscious mind with a clear picture of his problem. And by some queer power, which no one understands, his subconscious mind handed over to him the solution to his problem in the form of a hunch that caused him to think of the charcoal principle. And I basically wanted to say this because I get asked a lot, and I was recently just going through something like this, like wanting to go back to smoke, wanting to go back to drink, and being around the vices once again. And I really sat back and asked myself, why are you even wanting to do that? Why are you even thinking about going back to the vices? And when I really sat down and asked myself this question, I answered it because my purpose or my goal at the time wasn't big enough. And I get asked this a lot. I get asked this a lot by a lot of my students, a lot of different barbers, that, bro, how do you stay focused? When adversity come your way, when problems come your way, or even when you achieve that one goal that you wanted, how do you stay locked in? And I always revert back to your why. What is the goal? Why are you doing certain things? Because if it's not big enough, if it's not strong enough, what reason do you have to continue to push? What reason do you have to continue to go on in the journey that you are proceeding in? If you have no reason, if you have no goals, if you don't have a sense of direction, you have nothing. You're just working. You're just doing. You're just coasting. I recently just told somebody that whenever you have a goal, it's like going to a brand new restaurant that you never heard of. Let's say you want to take your wife to this restaurant, your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever. You want to take them to this restaurant that's brand new, that you never been to. You don't know how to get there. So what's your first instinct? You're going to get on your phones, type on your phone, right into maps to get the directions. Your goals is that restaurant. You type your goals into maps. Your soul, if your goal is big enough and you drive that into your mental, you're going to create. You're going to create. It's going to come in your subconscious mind a clear path of how to get to that goal. Just like on maps. It gives you two, three different routes, but they all end up at that restaurant. So you got the longer way, you got the longer path, you got the medium path, and you may got the shorter path. The longer path is you try to do everything on your own, or you continue to coast and you continue to waste time. Then you got the medium path where you work a lot. You may buy into a mentorship, a program, a coach, or you may get a little guidance here and there, but you haven't fully developed. You ain't trying to personal develop. Then you got the shortest route where you personal develop. You 10 toes down. Here, you personal develop. You invest into yourself, into your knowledge, into your business, into your brand. This is the shortest route. And you're going to subconsciously have a clear path of 3 routes. And it's your decision on which route are you trying to choose. Either it's going to be powerful enough to where you want to take the shortest route, or you're not going to have a lot of power. It's not that big. You may not believe that you can achieve it. But if you repeatedly tell yourself over and over and over that you're going to get this, and you demand it from the world, you demand it, you're going to create a pathway, a gateway to that goal. You have to be willing to really sit down and figure out what you're trying to do and what is the reason why you want that thing. Whether it's trying to get $10,000 as a barber, whether it's making $10,000 a month as a barber, whether it's buying a new car, whether it's retiring your mother, whether it's getting your first apartment. Okay, why are you even doing it? The thing you're actually chasing isn't the thing. It's what you can do with it. My goal isn't to make $100,000 a month just to make $100,000 a month. My goal is to make $100,000 a month to be able to inspire and motivate other young barbers that they can do the same thing as long as you put your mind to it. My goal to make $100,000 a month is to be able to retire my mama and live freely and be able to go visit and go anywhere and take her on vacation anywhere. That's why I want $100K a month. That's why I work hard to get to that goal. You're not chasing $10,000 as a month. You're not chasing a booked out schedule, because you will soon find out once you reach it, once you achieve it, once you get that XYZ thing, it's not that big. It wasn't that important. And you will find yourself falling out of love. You will find yourself dwindling down because it wasn't strong enough. It wasn't powerful enough. It wasn't great enough. It wasn't your true purpose. It wasn't. If it was, you will continue to go. You will continue to strive. You will continue to jump over or overcome adversity. But a lot of people will say, or you may even think in your own head that, oh, I'm lazy and I don't know how to do this and I don't know how to get back right and lock back in. That's not the case, man. The whole reason is you have to create new goals that will become powerful to you. Everybody's goals is not the same. You may can adapt somebody's goals. I may can tell you my goal is 100K, and you may think that your goal is 100K. But you can't even fathom what you will be able to do with 100K because you haven't sat down and actually thought about what that can do for you, your life, your family. How can that overall change your life? What opportunities can you provide with $100,000 a month? Cause let's be honest, yeah, that's a decent amount of money. But what can you do with it? If you haven't sat down and personally developed, if you haven't thought these things out, if you haven't even made $10,000 as a month and don't even know what to do with that, how do you think you would ever think about any amount of money? You cannot fathom that. But until you personally develop, until you actually sit down and develop yourself, develop your mentality, overcome obstacles, adversity in your mental, in your mind, that's when you will realize that the thing that you're chasing isn't the root. You're chasing X thing because of something that you actually desire. And whenever you figure out what that is that you desire, once you figure out what that goal is, that's when you will lock in. That's when you will sacrifice, whether that be time, hanging out with your friends, going to party, whether that's hanging up vices, drinking, smoking, whatever it is. Sleep, because you're building an empire, you're building a legacy. You're building something that you can be proud of, you can enjoy. You may feel like that's God's purpose for you. And that will drive you. That will keep you in the game. That will override everything else. That's what matters. Nothing else will matter. Only the things that you can get from X thing. And you really have to sit down and ask yourself, write down your goals. Come up with 10 different goals right now that you want to achieve by the end of the year. And out of them 10, which 3 is the most important to you? And really dial in on those. Why are those 3 the most important to you? Why? Really sit down and ask yourself these questions. These are the questions that you need to ask yourself. Sober-minded, no smoking, no drinking, just you, God, and that notebook and a pen, piece of paper. That's it. I help multiple of my students figure out the reason of why they want to make more money or the reason why they want to become barbers. I talk about this all day on my Instagram. Follow me on my Instagram, by the way, it's in the description. But that's what I do. Because I strongly believe that none of us is here to be a barber. Let at least at minimum be an image consultant. Back in the day, barbers were not even just barbers. We were influencers. We were religious leaders, dentists, doctors, therapists. We was plethora of things back then. Their sole purpose was not to just cut hair. You're not a hair cutter. You're not a barber. At minimum, image consultant. At minimum. You're destined for greatness. You're destined for more. I was talking to one of my other students, and drink, right? You want to drink, but you know this not you. You know this is not who you are, and you stop, you put it down, but then you slowly came back. And you have to really figure out what is the root cause of that. Why are you doing that? It's something about your life that you don't like. And when we actually figured the thing out, it was because he was comfortable where he was at, and he didn't want to face the fact that he was. He didn't want to face the fact that it's time for him to level up. He didn't want to face the fact of he has to change himself. His goals were so small that he didn't have to change. He could stay the same and achieve whatever he wanted. His goal wasn't powerful enough. It was no purpose. It wasn't purpose driven. He just wanted it. But you gotta have an urgency of it. You have to want it, need it, smell it, breathe it, eat it daily. Mentally embedded into your mind that this is what you want. This you will have. And until you figure that part out, until you become in a realization and get in complete alignment of that, you will stay still. You will never grow. You will never get out of the situation, circumstance, lifestyle that you are currently in today.